Jake Martinez floated outside the human ship Wanderer, fixing a broken sensor panel. The stars looked beautiful around him, but he had work to do. His tools clinked softly against his belt as he worked. The repair should take another hour, maybe 2. The Wanderer was a big exploration ship. It carried 300 people who were looking for new worlds far from Earth. Jake was just a maintenance guy, but he loved his job. He got to see space up close and keep the ship running. "Jake, how's it going out there?" Kate Morrison's voice came through his helmet radio. She was the weapons officer, always checking on everyone. "Almost done," Jake said, twisting a bolt. "Just need to replace this last circuit board." The ship was quiet around him. Most of the crew was sleeping. Jake liked working the night shift. It was peaceful, and he could think about home. He missed his little sister and his pet lizard, Gizmo. Gizmo had these beautiful scales that changed color when he was happy. Something moved in the corner of Jake's eye. He looked up from his work and saw a shadow passing between the stars. It was huge, bigger than the Wanderer. Jake blinked, thinking maybe he was seeing things. The shadow moved again. This time it was closer. "Kate," Jake said into his radio, "I think we have company out here." "What do you mean?" Kate asked. Before Jake could answer, the thing came into view. It was massive, at least twice the size of their ship. The creature looked like a giant snake, but it had 4 long arms covered in shiny scales. Beautiful blue and green lights ran along its body like Christmas decorations. Jake stared at it. He should have been scared, but instead, he felt amazed. The creature was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. Its scales reminded him of Gizmo when the little lizard was happy and excited. "Oh my God," Jake whispered. The creature turned its huge head toward him. It had big, intelligent eyes that glowed with soft purple light. For a moment, they just looked at each other through the empty space. "Jake, get inside now!" Kate's voice was loud and scared. "We're picking up a massive contact!" The ship's alarm started ringing. Red lights flashed along the Wanderer's hull. Jake could see people running around inside through the windows, but the creature just floated there, watching him. It tilted its head like Gizmo used to do when Jake talked to him. The beautiful lights on its body pulsed slowly, almost like it was breathing. "Well, aren't you just adorable?" Jake said softly. The creature's eyes seemed to get brighter. It made a sound that Jake could feel through his suit rather than hear. It was like a cat purring, but much deeper. Suddenly, the Wanderer's weapons started firing. Bright laser beams shot past Jake toward the creature. The alien moved fast, dodging the shots easily, but instead of running away, it moved closer to the ship. "Stop shooting!" Jake yelled into his radio. "It's not attacking! Get inside now!" Captain Amy Collins's voice cut through the radio chatter. "That thing is huge!" The creature looked at the weapons firing at it, then back at Jake. It seemed confused and maybe a little hurt. Jake felt bad for it. All it had done was come to look, and now people were shooting at it. "Jake, move!" Kate shouted. The creature suddenly shot forward, but not toward Jake. It wrapped around the ship's hull like a snake hugging a tree. The weapons couldn't fire at it anymore without hitting their own ship. Jake watched as the alien pressed its face against a big window where he could see Dr. Lisa Park, the scientist who studied aliens. The creature looked inside with curiosity, not anger. "It's not trying to hurt us," Jake said into his radio. "Look at it. It's just curious. Curious or not, it could crush us," Captain Collins replied. "Jake, get to the airlock right now." Jake started packing up his tools, but he kept watching the creature. It was looking into different windows now, seeing the people inside. Every time someone pointed a weapon at it, the creature moved away from that window. It was being careful not to hurt anyone. As Jake moved along the ship's hull toward the airlock, the creature's big head followed him. Those purple eyes never looked away. When Jake reached the airlock door, the creature pressed its nose against the window next to it. Jake put his hand on the glass. The creature did something amazing then. It lifted one of its long arms and pressed it against the glass where Jake's hand was. They stayed like that for a moment, human and alien, separated by just a few inches of clear metal. "That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen," Jake whispered. The creature made that purring sound again. This time, Jake was sure it was happy. "Jake, get inside!" Kate yelled. Jake stepped into the airlock, but he kept looking back at the creature through the window. As the door closed, the alien moved back from the ship. It didn't leave, though. It just floated nearby, watching. Inside the ship, everyone was running around and shouting. The captain was giving orders to get ready to run away. The weapons officer was trying to target the creature, but Jake just stood there, thinking about those intelligent purple eyes. Dr. Park ran up to him. "Jake, what happened out there? The creature stopped attacking when it saw you." "It wasn't attacking," Jake said. "It was just looking around like a kid in a new place." "A kid that could crush our ship," Kate said, joining them. Jake shook his head. "It won't hurt us. I can tell." "How can you tell?" Dr. Park asked. Jake thought about it. How could he explain the feeling he got from the creature? It was like when he looked at Gizmo and could tell if the little lizard was happy or sad or hungry. "It's lonely," Jake said finally. "And now it thinks we're interesting." Outside, the creature was still there, following the ship as it slowly moved away. Its lights pulsed in patterns that looked almost like it was trying to talk. Jake had a feeling that calling the alien beast cute was going to change everything. 3 days later, the Wanderer slowly moved toward Frontier Station. The big space station looked like a metal city floating among the stars. It was humanity's farthest outpost, home to 50,000 people. The alien creature had followed them the whole way. Jake had started calling it Scales because of its beautiful shiny skin. Scales never came too close, but it never left either. It just swam through space behind them like a loyal dog. "I don't like this," Captain Collins said as they got close to the station. "That thing has been following us for 3 days. Jake stood on the bridge, watching Scales through the big window. The creature's lights were pulsing in slow, steady patterns. It looked calm and happy. "It's not hurting anyone," Jake said. "Maybe it just wants to be friends." "Friends don't usually have the power to crush space stations," Kate Morrison replied. She was checking her weapons one more time. Dr. Park was studying readings on her computer. "The creature's energy output is incredible. It could probably destroy this station if it wanted to." "But it doesn't want to," Jake said. "Look at it. Does it look angry to you?" Everyone looked at Scales. The creature was floating peacefully, its 4 arms moving slowly like it was swimming. Its purple eyes were focused on the Wanderer, especially the parts where Jake usually was. "Wanderer, this is Frontier Station Control," a woman's voice came through the radio. "You are cleared to dock at Bay 7. But what is that thing following? You?" Captain Collins picked up the radio. "Station Control, this is Captain Collins. We have a situation. The alien creature is not hostile, but it won't leave us alone." "Not hostile?" "That thing is the size of a city block." Jake took the radio from the captain. "This is Jake Martinez. The creature isn't dangerous. It's just curious about us." "Who is Jake Martinez?" the voice asked. "He's the one the alien likes," Dr. Park explained into the radio. "The creature seems to have bonded with him somehow." There was a long silence from the station. Finally, the voice came back. "This is Commander Helen Brooks. Wanderer, dock immediately. Jake Martinez, report to my office as soon as you're aboard." The Wanderer moved slowly into the docking bay. Scales followed them right up to the station's outer hull. When the ship disappeared inside the bay, the creature pressed itself against the station's wall. It started making those deep purring sounds again. Inside the station, people were running around and looking scared. Through the windows, they could see Scales wrapped around part of the station like a giant space snake. Its lights were pulsing faster now, and it kept moving its head around like it was looking for something. Jake walked through the station corridors with Dr. Park and Kate. Everyone they passed stared at Jake like he was famous or dangerous. Some people whispered as they walked by. "This is weird," Jake said. "I'm just a maintenance guy." "You're the guy who made friends with a space monster," Kate replied. "That makes you pretty special." Commander Brooks's office was big and full of windows that looked out into space. The commander was a tall woman with short gray hair and serious eyes. She was talking to a man in a military uniform when Jake arrived. "Jake Martinez," she said, when he walked in. "Sit down. We need to talk." Jake sat in a chair across from her desk. Through the windows, he could see part of Scales wrapped around the station's hull. "That creature out there," Commander Brooks said, "has been making noise for the past hour. Our experts think it's trying to communicate." "What kind of noise?" Jake asked. "Deep sounds that our sensors can barely pick up. Dr. Park thinks they might be some kind of language." Jake looked out the window at Scales. The creature's head was pressed against the station's hull, and its lights were flashing in quick patterns. It's looking for me, Jake realized. It knows I'm in here somewhere, but it can't find me. How do you know that? The military man asked. His name tag said Sergeant Turner. Jake wasn't sure how to explain it. Ever since he first saw Scales, he had been able to guess what the creature was feeling. It was like having a pet that couldn't talk, but you still knew when it was happy or sad. I just do, Jake said. It's like, you know how you can tell when a dog is excited or worried? It's the same thing. Commander Brooks leaned forward. Jake, this creature could be very dangerous. We don't know anything about its species or what it wants. It wants to be near me, Jake said. I don't know why, but it does. Dr. Park walked over to the window. Commander, I've been studying the creature's behavior. It only gets agitated when Jake is out of sight. When it can see him, it's completely calm. That's not normal behavior for a predator, Sergeant Turner said. Maybe it's not a predator, Jake suggested. Maybe it's just lonely. As if it heard him, Scales suddenly pressed its face against the window near Dr. Park. Its purple eyes looked directly at Jake, and the creature made a soft sound that Jake could feel through the station's hull. It sees me, Jake said, waving at Scales. The creature's lights immediately changed to bright, happy colors. It pressed one of its long arms against the window where Jake was sitting. Look at that, Dr. Park said, excited. Its emotional state just completely changed. Jake, I think this creature has adopted you. Adopted me? Jake asked. Some species form family bonds very quickly. The creature might see you as offspring or a family member that needs protection. Commander Brooks stood up and walked to the window. Scales watched her carefully, but its lights stayed calm as long as Jake was visible. This is unprecedented, she said. We've never had an alien form this kind of bond with a human before. Is that bad? Jake asked. We don't know yet. But Jake, you need to understand something. If this creature really has adopted you, it might not let you leave. And if something happens to you, it might become very dangerous. Jake looked at Scales through the window. The creature was floating peacefully. Now its arms moving in slow, gentle patterns. It looked content just to see Jake through the glass. I don't think it wants to hurt anyone, Jake said. I think it just wants to belong somewhere. With you, Dr. Park added. Jake nodded. Yeah, with me. And maybe with all of us. Maybe it's never seen anything like humans before. Suddenly, alarms started ringing throughout the station. Red lights flashed, and a voice came over the speakers. All personnel to emergency stations. Multiple alien contacts approaching the system. Commander Brooks ran to her desk and turned on a big screen. It showed space around the station, with several large objects moving toward them. More of them, Sergeant Turner said grimly. Jake looked out at Scales. The creature's lights had changed to bright, urgent patterns. It was moving away from the station, positioning itself between the approaching aliens and the humans. It's protecting us, Jake realized. Scales is trying to protect the station. Scales, Commander Brooks asked. That's what I call it, and I think we're about to meet its family. The 3 alien ships that came toward Frontier Station were much bigger than Scales. The largest one was enormous, at least 5 times the size of the space station. All 3 creatures had the same beautiful scales and glowing lights. But these aliens looked older and more powerful. Jake pressed his face against Commander Brooks' window, watching Scales swim through space toward the approaching giants. The lights on Scales' body were flashing in quick, bright patterns like it was trying to talk to them. My God, Dr. Park whispered. It's a whole family. A family of space monsters, Sergeant Turner said, checking his weapon. They're not monsters, Jake said firmly. Look how they move. They're graceful, like dolphins. The biggest alien stopped first, floating in space about a mile from the station. Its lights were much brighter than Scales, and they pulsed in deep, slow patterns. When it spoke with its lights, Jake felt something strange in his head, like a gentle buzzing. Are you feeling that? Dr. Park asked, holding her head. Yeah, Jake said. It's like someone humming very quietly in my brain. Commander, Brooks was talking quickly into her radio. All defense stations hold fire unless they attack first. I repeat, do not fire unless attacked. Scales reached the big alien and started swimming around it in circles. The lights on both creatures flashed back and forth like they were having a conversation. The other two aliens joined them, and soon all four were floating together in what looked like a family meeting. "Jake," Dr. Park said, "I think you should try to communicate with them." "How?" "I don't speak alien. You understood that Scales was friendly when everyone else thought it was dangerous. Maybe you can sense their emotions like you did with Scales." Jake looked out at the four aliens floating in space. The biggest one had turned toward the station, and Jake could feel those purple eyes looking at him through the window. "I'll try," Jake said. He put his hand on the window and focused on the big alien. Immediately, he felt something in his mind. It wasn't words, but it was like emotions or pictures. He sensed curiosity, protectiveness, and something that felt like concern. "They're worried about Scales," Jake said. "The big one is its mother, I think. She came looking for her child." "What else?" Dr. Park asked. Jake closed his eyes and tried to feel more. The buzzing in his head got stronger, but it didn't hurt. It felt warm, like a hug. "They're not sure about us," Jake said. "The mother wants to know if we hurt Scales. She's ready to fight if we did." "Tell her we didn't hurt anyone," Commander Brooks said. "I can't tell her anything. I can only feel what she's feeling." Jake opened his eyes and looked at Scales. The young alien was still swimming around its mother, and its lights were bright and happy. Jake waved at Scales through the window. Scales saw him and immediately swam closer to the station. It pressed against the window where Jake was standing and made those happy purring sounds. Its lights flashed in excited patterns. The mother alien moved closer too. When she saw how happy Scales was to see Jake, her lights changed to softer, warmer colors. Jake felt the concern in his mind change to something else, surprise and maybe curiosity. "She's surprised that Scales likes me so much," Jake said. "I don't think they've ever seen anything like humans before." "That makes sense," Dr. Park said. "This is the farthest anyone from Earth has ever traveled. We might be the first humans they've met." The mother alien came very close to the station, and Jake could see her clearly through the window. She was beautiful in the same way Scales was, but more majestic. Her scales were darker, and her lights were more complex. She looked very old and very wise. She stared at Jake for a long moment. Jake felt her mind touching his, gentle but powerful. It was like being examined by someone who could see right into his soul. Then Jake felt something amazing. The mother alien was sharing memories with him. He saw flashes of deep space, of a world covered in crystal caves, of young aliens learning to swim between the stars. He saw Scales as a baby, playing with its siblings in the light of a distant sun. "She's showing me their home," Jake whispered. "It's beautiful." The mother pulled back from his mind, and Jake felt her decision. She had decided that humans were not dangerous to her child. In fact, she was impressed that such small creatures could care for someone not their own species. "Jake," Dr. Park said urgently, "look!" 3 more alien ships had appeared in the distance, but these looked different. They were dark and angular, not smooth and graceful like the alien family. Red lights flashed along their hulls, and they were moving fast toward the station. The mother alien's lights immediately changed to bright warning colors. She called to the other aliens in her family, and they quickly moved to form a line between the station and the approaching ships. "Those aren't the same species," Dr. Park said. "The new ships look like warships." "This is bad," Sergeant Turner said. "We're caught in the middle of an alien war." Jake felt the mother alien's emotions change again. Now there was anger and protectiveness. The approaching ships were enemies, and they were threatening her new extended family, the humans. She's going to fight them, Jake realized. She thinks we're part of her family now, so she'll protect us. "Because of Scales?" Commander Brooks asked. "Because Scales adopted me, and I'm human. So now all humans are family." The dark ships got closer, and Jake could see they had weapons, pointed at the station. The alien family spread out, ready for battle. Scales positioned itself right in front of the station's main section, where most of the people lived. "They're really going to fight for us," Dr. Park said in amazement. Jake put both hands on the window and tried to send feelings to the mother alien. He thought about gratitude and friendship, about how much he cared for Scales, and how honored He felt to be accepted by her family. The mother alien turned toward him, and Jake felt her acknowledgement. In her mind, he was no longer just a strange, small creature. He was family, and family protected each other. The dark ships opened fire first, sending bright energy beams toward the station. But the alien family was ready. They moved faster than anything Jake had ever seen, dodging the weapons and striking back with their own natural abilities. The mother alien opened her mouth and shot out a beam of pure energy that cut right through one of the attacking ships. The other family members used their long arms to grab enemy vessels and crush them like tin cans. Incredible, Commander Brooks said. They're incredibly powerful. Jake watched Scales dodge enemy fire while protecting the station. The young alien was learning to fight by watching its family, but it never forgot its main job, keeping Jake and the other humans safe. "We need to help them," Jake said. "How?" Sergeant Turner asked. "Our weapons are nothing compared to theirs," Jake thought about it. He couldn't fight like the aliens could, but maybe he could do something else. Maybe he could make sure Scales and its family knew that the humans were grateful and wanted to help too. "Dr. Park," Jake said, "can you figure out how to communicate with them properly?" "I can try." "Why?" "Because if we're family now, we should act like family, and family talks to each other." The battle in space was getting worse. More dark ships had arrived, and now there were 10 enemy vessels attacking the station. The alien family fought hard, but they were outnumbered. Jake watched from Commander Brooks' office as Scales got hit by an energy beam. The young alien spun through space, its lights flickering weakly. Jake felt a sharp pain in his chest, like someone had punched him. "Scales is hurt," Jake shouted. Dr. Park was working frantically at a computer, trying to understand the alien language. "I'm getting something," she said. "The light patterns are definitely communication. It's like a mix of colors and timing." "Can you talk to them?" Jake asked. "Not yet, but I think I can send simple messages, basic emotions maybe." Another energy beam hit Scales, and the young alien went limp. It started floating toward the station, not moving its arms anymore. Jake felt sick with worry. "I have to help Scales," Jake said. "How?" Commander Brooks asked. "You can't go outside in the middle of a battle." "Yes, I can. Scales is hurt because it was protecting us. It's family, and family helps family." Sergeant Turner grabbed Jake's arm. "That's suicide. Those energy beams would kill you instantly." Jake pulled away. "Not if I stay close to the station." "The alien family won't let the enemy ships get too close to me." Dr. Park looked up from her computer. "Jake, I think I can send a message to the mother alien. If you're going out there, I can tell her you're coming to help." "Do it," Jake said. Dr. Park typed commands into her computer. Lights on the station's hull started flashing in the same patterns they had seen from the aliens. The message was simple. "Jake coming to help Scales?" The mother alien's lights flashed back immediately. Jake felt her surprise and worry in his mind. She didn't want him to risk himself, but she understood why he wanted to help. Jake ran to the emergency suit room. Commander Brooks and the others followed him, trying to talk him out of going outside. "This is crazy," Sergeant Turner said. "You're just one person." "So was Scales when it first protected our ship," Jake replied, putting on his spacesuit. "But it did it anyway." "Jake," Commander Brooks said, "if you die out there, this whole alliance falls apart. That alien family might blame us for your death." Jake stopped putting on his helmet and looked at her. "Commander, if I don't go help Scales, there won't be an alliance anyway. I'll have failed as family." Dr. Park handed him a radio. "I've linked this to our communication system. I can translate simple messages between you and the aliens." "Thanks," Jake said, putting on his helmet. Jake went to the airlock and stepped outside. The battle was raging around him, but he focused on Scales. The young alien was floating near the station's lower section, barely moving. As soon as Jake appeared outside, the alien family's fighting style changed. The mother alien and her relatives formed a protective circle around the station, making sure no enemy fire could reach Jake. Jake used his suit's thrusters to fly towards Scales. An enemy ship tried to shoot at him, but one of the adult aliens grabbed it and crushed it before the beam could fire. "I'm coming, Scales," Jake said into his radio. When he reached the injured alien, Jake could see the damage. There was a burned patch on Scales' side where the energy beam had hit. The wound was bleeding a strange blue liquid that sparkled like tiny stars. Jake landed on Scales' back and put his hands on the wound. The alien's skin felt warm even through his gloves. Scales' eyes opened slowly and looked at him. "Hey there, beautiful," Jake said softly. "I'm here to help." Scales made a weak purring sound. Its lights were dim, but they got a little brighter. When it saw Jake, Dr. Park's voice came through the radio. "Jake, I'm sending medical information to your suit computer. The alien biology is different from ours, but there are similarities." Jake checked his suit's medical scanner. It showed that Scales was losing a lot of blood and was in shock. The wound wasn't fatal, but it needed to be treated quickly. "I need to stop the bleeding," Jake said into his radio. He opened his emergency medical kit and took out a special bandage that could seal any kind of wound. As he worked, Jake talked to Scales the same way he used to talk to his pet lizard back home. "You're going to be okay," he said. "Your family is here, and they're taking care of the bad guys. You just need to rest and heal." Scales' lights pulsed weakly in response. Jake felt the aliens' gratitude through their strange mental connection. While Jake worked on Scales, the battle continued around them. The alien family fought with incredible power, but the enemy ships kept coming. Jake realized that the dark ships weren't just trying to destroy the station, they were trying to capture or kill the alien family. "Dr. Park," Jake said into his radio, "ask the mother alien why these ships are attacking them." A moment later, Dr. Park replied, "She says the enemy is called the Vorth Empire. They capture other species and make them slaves. They want to enslave the alien family because they're so powerful." Jake felt angry. The beautiful, peaceful aliens who had adopted him were being hunted by slavers. That wasn't right. "Tell the mother alien that humans don't like slavers either," Jake said. "We want to help fight them." The medical bandage was working. Scales' wound stopped bleeding, and the young alien was getting stronger. It lifted one of its arms and gently touched Jake's helmet. Suddenly, the largest enemy ship fired a massive energy beam at the station. The alien family couldn't stop it in time. The beam hit the station's power core, and explosions rocked the entire structure. Jake felt the station shaking through his boots. Emergency lights were flashing everywhere, and he could hear Commander Brooks shouting orders through his radio. "The station's main power is down," Sergeant Turner's voice crackled through the radio. "We're on emergency power only." Jake looked at Scales. The young alien was strong enough to fight now, but the battle was getting worse. The alien family was tired from fighting so many enemies, and more Vorth ships were still arriving. "We need to end this fight," Jake said into his radio. "Can the station's weapons help at all?" "Our weapons are too weak," Commander Brooks replied. "They're designed for small threats, not warships." Jake thought about it. Maybe human weapons were weak compared to alien technology, but humans had other strengths. They were good at working together and solving problems. "Dr. Park," Jake said, "can you ask the alien family to gather close to the station? I have an idea." "What kind of idea?" she asked. Jake looked at the damaged station and the tired alien family. Then he looked at Scales, who was ready to fight again to protect the humans it loved. "The kind of idea that only works if we all trust each other completely," Jake said. Like family should, Jake's plan was simple but dangerous. The station's weapons were too weak to hurt the Vorth ships, but they could do something else. They could create a distraction. "Commander Brooks," Jake said into his radio, "I need you to fire all our weapons at the same time, but not at the enemy ships." "What?" came the confused reply. "Fire them into empty space, in different directions? Make as much light and noise as possible?" Jake turned to Scales, who was floating next to him, recovered from its injuries. "Can you tell your family to wait for my signal, then attack all at once?" Scales' lights flashed, and Jake felt the young alien sending the message to its family. The mother alien and the other adults moved closer to the station, ready to follow the plan of their newest family member. "Jake, this better work," Dr. Park said through the radio. "We only have enough power for one big weapons burst. It'll work," Jake said. "The Vorth ships think they're winning. They won't expect a coordinated attack." The enemy ships were moving closer, preparing for a final assault on the wounded station. There were 12 Vorth vessels now, all focused on destroying the human outpost and capturing the alien family. "Everyone ready?" Jake asked. "Ready," Commander Brooks replied. Jake felt the mother alien's acknowledgement through his mental connection. With Scales, the entire alien family was waiting for his signal. Now! Jake shouted. Frontier Station's weapons fired in all directions, creating a brilliant light show that lit up space like fireworks. The Vorth ships paused, confused by the seemingly random display. At that exact moment, the alien family attacked. They moved faster than Jake had ever seen them move, appearing behind the enemy ships like ghosts. The mother alien's energy beam cut through 3 Vorth vessels at once. The other adults used their incredible strength to crush ships and tear through armor. But the most amazing thing was how Scales fought. The young alien had learned from watching its family, and now it fought with both power and intelligence. It used its smaller size to get between enemy ships, confusing their targeting systems. Within minutes, half the Vorth fleet was destroyed. The remaining ships tried to retreat, but the alien family didn't let them escape. Jake watched in awe, as creatures he had first thought were simply beautiful revealed their true power. The last enemy ship exploded in a flash of light, and suddenly, space was quiet again. Jake floated next to Scales, both of them watching the alien family regroup. The mother alien came closer to the station, her lights pulsing in what Jake now recognized as satisfaction and pride. "We did it," Jake said softly. Scales bumped gently against him, purring with happiness. Through their connection, Jake felt the young alien's joy and gratitude. He had proven himself as family by risking his life to help. Dr. Park's voice came through the radio. "Jake, the mother alien is sending a message. She wants to talk to our leaders." "Tell her I'll translate," Jake said. Over the next few hours, Jake helped establish communication between the humans and the alien family. The creatures called themselves the Kythera, and they were one of the oldest species in the galaxy. The mother alien's name translated roughly to Deep Memory Keeper, and she was over 1,000 years old. Through Jake, Deep Memory Keeper explained that the Kythera usually avoided other species. They were peaceful and didn't like to get involved in galactic politics. But Jake's kindness to Scales had changed everything. "She says humans are the first species to show genuine care for a Kythera child," Dr. Park translated. "Most other species are either afraid of them or want to use their power." Jake was back inside the station now, sitting in Commander Brooks' office. Through the window, he could see Scales and the other Kythera floating peacefully near the station. "What does this mean for us?" Commander Brooks asked. Jake felt Deep Memory Keeper's thoughts through his connection with Scales. "She wants to make an alliance. The Kythera will protect human space from enemies like the Vorth Empire. In exchange, they want to learn more about human culture and kindness." "That's incredible," Commander Brooks said. "An alliance with beings this powerful could change everything for humanity." "But there's a condition," Jake added. "I have to be the official contact between humans and Kythera. They trust me because Scales trusts me." Dr. Park smiled. "Jake, you just became humanity's first alien ambassador." Jake looked out at Scales, who was pressing its face against the window again. The young Kythera's lights were bright and happy, and Jake could feel its contentment through their bond. "I guess I'm not just a maintenance guy anymore," Jake said. Over the following weeks, Jake worked with Dr. Park and other scientists to establish proper communication with the Kythera. They learned that the aliens could share technology that would help humans explore space more safely. In return, the Kythera wanted to understand human emotions and relationships. Scales decided to stay near human space, serving as both protector and student. The young alien was fascinated by human culture and spent hours watching movies and listening to music through the station's communication systems. Jake was given a new job as the Director of Kythera Relations. It was a big title for someone who used to just fix broken equipment, but he was good at it. His ability to understand alien emotions made him perfect for the role. "You know what the funny thing is?" Jake said to Dr. Park one day as they watched Scales playing with some human children through a viewing window. The kids were drawing pictures and holding them up to the glass, and Scales was copying the drawings with its own light patterns. "What?" Dr. Park asked. "I just wanted to fix a sensor array. I never planned to adopt an alien or start an interstellar alliance." Dr. Park laughed. "Sometimes the most important things happen when we're not planning them." Jake nodded, watching Scales make light patterns that looked like flowers and stars for the children. The young Kythera had grown bigger and stronger, but it was still the same curious, affectionate creature Jake had first called cute. "Hey, Scales!" Jake called out. The alien turned toward him, its purple eyes bright with joy. It made that familiar, purring sound and flashed its lights in patterns that Jake now knew meant family and happiness and home. Jake put his hand on the window, and Scales pressed one of its arms against the glass from the other side. Human and alien, separated by just a few inches but connected by something much stronger than glass or space or the differences between their species. Looking back, Jake realized that calling Scales cute was the best mistake he had ever made. It had brought two very different kinds of families together and created something new. A friendship between species that could last for thousands of years, and it all started because a maintenance worker from Earth thought a giant space creature looked adorable. Outside the window, more Kythera had arrived to visit their adopted human family. They swam through space around the station like gentle giants, their lights creating beautiful patterns against the stars. Jake smiled and waved at all of them. His family had gotten a lot bigger lately, but that was okay. There was always room for more love in the universe, especially when that love started with someone simply being kind to a lost child among the stars.